Imagine this: what if a single bridge could decide the fate of an entire battlefield? In the heart of Donetsk, Russia's bold push crumbles as Ukraine's drones turn a vital engineering marvel into a blazing inferno. Shocking losses expose Putin's empty promises. Peace for Donetsk? Only if he surrenders it, yet Ukraine's fierce response screams otherwise. Feel the tension in the air, thick with smoke and determination. This isn't just a clash, it's a humiliating setback that questions everything. How did a rare machine become Russia's undoing? Buckle up as we uncover the drama unfolding on frozen fronts. Vladimir Putin keeps demanding control of Donetsk for any chance at peace. He insists his forces are moments from victory there. But reality hits hard. Ukraine just launched a stunning counterstrike, shredding a major Russian advance. Equipment smolders in the cold December fields. It's a devastating blow for Russia in Donetsk. Their assault? Wiped out, with massive setbacks. This happened around or before December 20th. Picture the scene: Russian tanks rumble forward, engines growling like beasts in the mud. Armored carriers follow, treads churning earth into slurry. No minor skirmish here. Reports from Defense Express detail the chaos. Russia sent waves of heavy machinery against Ukraine's strongholds in Donetsk. And supporting them? A scarce MTU-20 tank bridge layer. This beast replaces the outdated MTU-1 system. It unfolds a 3-section bridge, letting tanks and carriers cross ditches, mines, and soggy ground. The bridge spans 20 by 3.6 meters. That's roughly 65.61 feet by 10.82 feet. It holds up to 60,000 kilograms, over 132,000 pounds. Simple genius: when armor stalls in treacherous spots, the MTU-20 lays a path over the mess. Assaults speed up, unstoppable. Yet, this machine depends on nearby tanks for defense. Expert Odin notes it packs no guns. Exposed? It's prey. What if Ukraine spots it mid-build? December 20th delivers the twist. Ukraine's eyes catch the MTU-20 in action. Now it burns alongside those tanks and carriers, somewhere in Donetsk's scarred landscape. A masterful Ukrainian push halts Russia's mechanized wave cold. Who led the charge? The 427th Separate Regiment of Unmanned Systems, RAROG of Ukraine's armed forces. They detected the threat early. Drones swarmed, neutralizing it before progress. The buzz on Telegram from unmanned forces boasts RAROG's triumph. In Donetsk, operators from the 427th halted enemy pushes. They targeted tanks, stripping infantry of shields. Advance? Impossible now. That's the core strategy. Shredding the MTU-20 traps Putin's armor far from Ukraine's lines. Stranded tanks? Cannons out of reach, useless. Infantry loses drone-proof cover. Did commanders force foot soldiers onward, armorless? Odds favor yes. History shows Russia often thrusts troops into harm bare. November's Telegraph exposed Donetsk fighters lucky for any gear. Others charge without helmets or vests. As machines blaze, orders likely held. No shelter, imagine the exposed panic. Wind whipping through ranks. Russia's troops? Overwhelmed, just like their hardware. Denial? Futile this time. RAROG pairs the announcement with video proof, 70 seconds of raw aftermath. Crackling flames greet us first. A vehicle engulfed, heat warping the air. Then, first-person view drone footage rolls. Strikes land true, again and again. 1-0s on the MTU-20, bridge folded like a wounded giant. Drones hammer it relentlessly. Disabled, it takes a final bomb drop. Flames roar, devouring it whole. Recovery? Unlikely. Attention shifts. More drones hunt tanks, carriers. Explosions bloom, leaving charged shells behind. Ukraine's message to Putin? Crystal clear. Donetsk falls? Not soon. Assaults meet swift, precise fury. And it escalates. Same telegram reveals another hit. A BM-21 Grad rocket launcher, caught firing at positions. Coordinated strike cuts the barrage. Vehicle wrecked. Rorog's drones? Possible culprits, though unclear. Priority high rockets threaten before tanks fall. The 427th steady ops erode enemy strength. Defenders gain edges on key fronts. Spot on. Without that bridge layer, Russia's future pushes over rough terrain? Crippled. Tanks bogged down, easy prey for drones. More strikes loom, like December 20th spectacle. Rorog? Poised for more. This unit's rising star. Formed around April 2023, per Long War Journal. Now 500 to 1,500 strong, warforged growth. February's military land noted expansion from the 24th Mechanized Brigade into a full drone regiment. Phoenix unit joins, numerical tag unknown. Together with Magyar's birds, Ukraine's drone legends, they launch power of drones. Recruiting fighters, civilians alike for unmanned ranks. Such alliances? Built on Rorog's proven grit. Not their debut. July 2023. A smaller Rorog downs a T-90 tank. Radars, fire spots topple too. January's Chasevyar battle? For T-62 tanks, 3 BMP-2 carriers gone. Donetsk's hit? Pattern of precision. Rorog's site pitches team ops, recon, engineering, electronic jams, those FPV drone takedowns. Technological edge over chaos. Drones, intel, iron discipline. No luck here, pure calculation. Data hunts targets. Strikes? Devastating clocks. That scorched MTU-20, tanks, carriers? Proof. Rorog delays Putin's Donetsk dreams indefinitely. So, what ripples from this Ukrainian masterstroke? War's path twists sharper. Rorog's feats? No pivot yet, but momentum builds. Russia's overconfidence cracks. Ukraine's tech-savvy defenders adapt faster. Donetsk holds, but for how long before the next drone swarm changes everything? The cold wind carries whispers of more to come. On December 20th, the Ukrainian forces made a stunning discovery. The rare but critical bridge layer, known as the MTU-20, was caught in the act of building a crossing over occupied territory. This equipment bears no weapons, making it an easy target if Ukraine's drones spotted it. And spot it they did. Within moments, Ukrainian unmanned systems, from the 427th Regiment of the Armed Forces, zeroed in on the vehicle. Using high-powered drones, they launched a precision strike, turning this vital piece of military infrastructure into a blazing inferno. Flames flickered as the video footage captured the dramatic scene, metal parts melting, thick black smoke billowing into the sky. The noise of explosions punctuated the air, a stark reminder of how fragile these seemingly unstoppable tools of war truly are. This destruction was no accident. It was a calculated blow that halted Russia's mechanized push in Donetsk. Without their bridge layer, tanks and armored vehicles lost their crossing point, stranded, useless, and vulnerable. Their cannons couldn't reach beyond the immediate zone, and their infantry forces lacked the cover needed to advance. The once formidable Russian assault faced an impassable barrier, their momentum shattered. What happened next? The possibility looms that Russian soldiers, already fatigued and exposed, were ordered to press forward without their armor. Evidence suggests they often fight under-equipped, barely helmets, flimsy vests as they push into hostile territory. Without their armored support, they became sitting targets. The disastrous aftermath speaks for itself. The burning tanks, destroyed vehicles, and shattered bridge layer tell a story of failure. Russia can no longer deny defeat here. Its forces lie broken, scattered, and severely weakened. The drone footage is a haunting visual reminder: precision wins battles, and in this case, precision meant total devastation. And the story doesn't end there. Alongside the destroyed bridge layer, Ukrainian forces also targeted a key missile launcher and anti-armor weapon capable of striking deep into enemy lines. The coordinated attack disabled a dangerous threat that could have turned the tide in favor of the Russian forces. The relentless precision of Ukraine's unmanned forces is rewriting the rules of engagement. Each destroyed piece of equipment chips away at Russia's offensive capacity. The systematic targeting of their tanks, vehicles, and command infrastructure strips momentum from their advances. Without effective armor to support their ground troops, Russian units are increasingly vulnerable. The key question remains: how long can they sustain these failed assaults before they are forced into retreat? Looking ahead, Ukraine's drone operations are proving to be more than just tactical gambits, they are shaping the future of this long conflict. The expanding regiment, formed just months ago, has already earned a reputation as a deadly and precise force. Its success in Donetsk signals a new era where technology, discipline, and ingenuity tilt the battlefield in Ukraine's favor. Every strike, every destroyed vehicle, and every intercepted attack sows doubt among Russian troops. The once seemingly unstoppable Russian machine is slowed, crippled by the very tools designed to facilitate their advance. This ongoing battle of drones and firepower is rewriting what modern warfare truly looks like. So, as Ukrainian forces continue to strike with relentless precision, the future of Donetsk and possibly the entire conflict becomes clearer. Victory isn't just about brute force anymore, it hinges on intelligence, speed, and the unyielding edge of drone technology. Russia's long-held belief of inevitable conquest is crumbling before the relentless eye of Ukraine's unmanned warriors. The question remains: how much longer can Russia's battered machinery hold together against this new technological threat? Previous part summary: Russia's equipment was destroyed in seconds. Without cover, their forces faced annihilation. Tanks, armored vehicles, and the crucial bridge layer all went up in flames. Russia can't deny a failed assault anymore. Their defeat became undeniable when Ukraine's drones showed the world the devastation. Now, Raharog's drone footage captures the chaos and destruction unfolding on the battlefield. The video begins with the crackling of fire and the flickering glow of burning vehicles. The air is thick with the smell of burnt metal and scorched earth. As the footage unfolds, sleek FPV drones zoom in with deadly precision, zeroing in on targets with relentless focus. First, they strike the MTU-20 bridge layer. This rare and vital piece of equipment, carrying a folded bridge, is a symbol of Russian engineering prowess. It attempts to make its way to a crossing point, but Ukrainian drones are relentless. They hit the vehicle multiple times, core parts of this armored giant fold and buckle under the assault. The bridge layer, seemingly crippled, becomes an easy target. Then, a final drone drops a sleek bomb, igniting a massive blaze. Flames lick high into the sky, turning the Russian asset into debris and smoke. It's a blow from which it will never recover. The attack doesn't stop there. The relentless drones shift their focus to armored tanks and vehicles, each explosion a deafening reminder of Ukraine's precision strike capabilities. Scenes of burning hulks flicker across the screen, reminders of Russian hopes that are shattered in moments. Meanwhile, Ukraine's forces send a clear message: Donetsk still belongs to them. Despite Russia's claims of an inevitable takeover, the Ukrainian resistance remains fierce and unyielding. Each strike is a statement: they hit fast, accurate, and with devastating effect. The battle's toll becomes clearer with every second. Alongside the destroyed tanks and vehicles, Ukrainian forces reveal their success in taking out a key piece of Russian artillery, the BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system. Just as the enemy fires on Ukrainian positions, their strike lands precisely, wiping out the threat in an instant. The outcome is undeniable: Ukraine fights back fiercely, relentlessly, and with every weapon at their disposal. The 427th Unmanned Systems Regiment, known as Raharog, proves its growing dominance. Formed just months ago, it has swiftly earned a reputation for destruction. From taking out tanks to disrupting supply routes, their drones are an unstoppable force. Each successful attack chips away at Russian confidence and hampers their ability to stage further assaults. Imagine the future: what happens when Ukraine's drone fleet continues to evolve? Russia's armored units are pushed into ever more vulnerable positions. Their bridges, tanks, and artillery become sitting targets. The sound of exploding metal, the acrid scent of burnt fuel, and the eerie glow of nighttime fires paint a grim picture for the invader. Yet, the threat is far from over. As Raharog's reputation grows, so does its influence on the battlefield. Will Ukraine's relentless drone strikes turn the tide entirely? Or is Russia planning a desperate counterattack? The next move could determine whether Ukraine maintains the unbreakable grip on Donetsk or if the Russians find a way to turn the tide. Amidst the chaos, a chilling question remains: could Ukraine's secret weapon finally break Russia's resistance? The answer might be hidden in the skies, in the silent precision of drones ready to strike unseen. Stay tuned, because what happens next could reshape the entire course of this brutal conflict. The previous Ukrainian counterattack was a stunning turn of events, and now we see the shocking aftermath. Ukrainian forces struck a critical enemy asset, an elusive, vital bridge layer used by Russian mechanized units. This rare piece of equipment, the MTU-20, is the backbone of their advancing armor. Without it, Russia's massive tank and armored vehicle assaults grind to a halt, leaving their forces stranded on the battlefield. Imagine the chaos inside the Russian ranks. Their tanks, once unstoppable, now sit useless, fires consuming them, metal twisted and scarred. The roar of explosions, the smell of burning oil, and the crackle of drone strikes fill the air. Ukraine's unmanned forces targeted and destroyed this key bridge layer just seconds before it could support another brutal advance. Was this the turning point nobody saw coming? How could a single drone operation hold back an entire armored division? The answer is in the precision. Drones zeroed in, scoring direct hits on the bridge as it folded, a perfect kill. The sight of flames engulfing the device left no doubt future assaults are now significantly more difficult for Russia. Yet, the story doesn't end there. As the drone footage reveals, Ukraine's forces relentlessly focused on other enemy vehicles. Tank after tank, armored personnel carriers, all reduced to smoldering wreckage. The drone attacks created chaos across the battlefield, leaving Russian forces vulnerable and disorganized. As the footage continues, the sound of sizzling fires and the scent of burnt rubber evoke a battlefield frozen in time, frozen in defeat. But what's truly alarming for Russia is what this means for the war's future. Ukraine's precision strikes executed by the 427th Unmanned Systems Regiment, known as Raharog, are more than mere attacks. They are a calculated strategy, systematically dismantling Russia's offensive strength. The destruction of the bridge layer is just the beginning. During the same operation, Ukrainian drones eliminated a key multiple rocket launcher, the BM-21 Grad, just as it was firing. The assault was stopped mid-barrage, and the entire vehicle was destroyed in seconds. How did Ukraine's silent, unseen fighters achieve this? The answer lies in their deadly coordination and amalgamation of skills in reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and precise drone strikes. This regiment's rapid growth is staggering. Official reports indicate it was established around April 2023, but its numbers have soared to possibly over 500 members now. Its specialization in unmanned aerial operations has made it a formidable force on the front lines. The regiment's mission is clear: target, locate, and annihilate the enemy's most vital assets, leaving nothing to chance. Raharog's success isn't limited to destroying tanks and bridge equipment. They've taken out Russian radars, artillery positions, and command centers, each strike further crippling Russia's war machine. Their drones, equipped with FPV technology, are almost surgical in their precision. They hunt targets silently, then strike with devastating accuracy, burning armored units and leaving behind smoldering wrecks that symbolize Ukrainian resilience. What's the bigger implication? Ukraine's unmanned forces are evolving into a major game-changer. For every armored column Russia pushes forward, Ukraine's drones are already waiting, ready to strike under the cover of darkness or fog. With each successful attack, Russia's offensive falters and the war shifts in Ukraine's favor. But what comes next? Could Raharog's operations lead to a final breakthrough? The evidence suggests they are just getting started. As the regiment continues to expand, their missions become bolder. The destruction in Donetsk is more than just a battlefield victory, it's a stark warning to Moscow. Ukraine's secret weapon, its drones, is rewriting the rules of modern warfare, turning the tide with stealth, speed, and precision. The question remains: how long can Russia keep fighting against an unseen enemy that strikes faster than they can respond? A mysterious new force has emerged on the battlefield, transforming the face of modern warfare. Imagine the silence broken only by the crackle of drones and the distant rumble of distant explosions. What if silent machines could decide the fate of entire regions? A recent strike in Donetsk revealed just how deadly these unmanned units can be. Initially, their existence was cloaked in secrecy. Now, their reputation is growing rapidly, threatening to reshape the conflict. Ukrainian forces, blending high-tech and strategic brilliance, have unleashed a series of devastating attacks. Among the most striking is the destruction of Russia's rare MTU-20 bridge layer, a vital piece of battlefield engineering. This 20-meter lone marvel, capable of supporting heavy loads over dangerous terrain, was caught in the act of deploying a bridge, making it a prime target for Ukrainian drones. On December 20, Russian mechanized forces moved aggressively, hoping to push forward into Ukrainian positions in Donetsk. The sound of engines, the scent of burnt rubber, and the flash of detonations marked their advance. Yet Ukraine was ready. Advanced unmanned systems identified the assault early, unleashing a barrage of precision strikes that turned the tide instantly. Drones swooped in, hitting tanks, armored vehicles, and that very bridge layer, each explosion gut-wrenching, each target reduced to burning wreckage. This strike was not isolated. Ukrainian drone operators, part of the elite 427th Unmanned Operations Regiment, showed unparalleled accuracy. Their footage captures the chaos, fireballs engulfing Russian armor, metal fragments piercing the air, and the unmistakable silence of a mission successful. Their effort not only destroyed equipment but also crippled Russia's ability to advance. With the bridge layer taken out, Russian forces lost their mobility, trapped in a terrain they couldn't cross, rendering their assaults useless. But this is only the beginning. The Ukrainian military doesn't rely solely on drones for destruction. Their targeted strikes have also eliminated critical Russian artillery systems, like the BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket units. When these systems open fire, chaos erupts. But thanks to calculated drone strikes, such fire is often stopped before it can escalate, saving Ukrainian positions and draining Russian resources. The transformation is clear. Ukrainian unmanned units are growing in strength and sophistication. Their secret source? A network that combines reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and precise targeted strikes. Official reports suggest that this regiment, originally formed in early 2023, has expanded significantly, possibly into a full battalion. Their motto, "We are the technological answer to modern warfare." This evolution represents more than just tactical advantages. It symbolizes a shift in how wars will be fought in the future, where precision and data override brute force. With each successful attack, Ukraine's drones gather intelligence, analyze targets, and strike with ruthless efficiency. The evidence is all around, in the smoldering wreckage of Russian tanks and bridge layers. And yet, the threat to Russian ambitions in Donetsk persists. Kremlin claims of inevitable victory are increasingly hollow. The destruction of critical equipment is a clear message: Ukraine's unmanned forces are capable of stalling and even reversing Russian advances. The future of the conflict remains uncertain, but one thing is undeniable: robotic warfare is here to stay. What does this mean for the future? Could these unmanned units be the turning point that prolongs Ukraine's resilience? Or will they open the door for even more advanced combat systems? The answers may be hidden behind the smoke and fire of each new drone strike, but one thing is certain: the battlefield has forever changed, and silence now screams louder than ever. The Ukrainian forces delivered a stunning blow that shattered Russia's most vital military asset, the rare MTU-20 bridge layer, on December 20th. This crucial piece of equipment, once supporting Russia's mechanized assaults, was caught in a targeted drone strike, leaving it engulfed in flames. As the smoke cleared, the message was clear: Russia's hopes of rapid conquest are crumbling under Ukraine's fierce resistance. Imagine the sound of crackling fires, shattering glass, and the roar of explosions echoing through the cold winter air. Metal scorched and twisted, tanks reduced to burning wreckage, their metal hulls scorched black by intense flames. Ukrainian drones, sleek and precise, relentlessly zeroed in, their humming blades and piercing cameras capturing every devastating moment. The victory was not just symbolic, it was a brutal setback for Russia's advancing forces. Without their bridge layer, their tanks and armored vehicles found themselves stranded and impotent, unable to cross obstacles or support infantry trapped in a slow, grinding retreat. Despite Moscow's claims of an unstoppable march, the truth is harsh. Donetsk remains a battlefield of fierce resistance. Ukrainian fighters, with ingenuity and resilience, have turned the tide. Every Russian attack is met with fierce countermeasures, artillery, drones, and swift strikes, keeping the city in a state of tension and unpredictability. Russian forces, boasting about vast territorial gains, hide the grim reality: much of Donetsk's heavily fortified key areas still resist fiercely. Figures are inflated, exaggerating their territorial conquests, while the fierce Ukrainian counterattacks expose their overconfidence. The numbers tell a different story. Russia controls only a portion, but its push to seize the remaining fortified zones faces relentless, well-coordinated resistance. In the chaos of war, it's easy to forget that each victory like this strikes at the very heart of Russia's brutal plans. The destruction of the bridge layer isn't merely a setback, it's a message: Ukraine can, and will, strike behind enemy lines, rendering Russian equipment useless and causing chaos in their ranks. The sounds, sights, and smells of war tell a story of resilience amid devastation. From the charred remains of tanks to the high-pitched whine of drones slicing through the icy air, every moment underscores one truth: Ukraine's defenders are not merely holding on, they're turning the tide. How long can Russia cling to their illusions of victory when each drone strike strips away another piece of their armor? The question lingers: how much longer can Putin's forces sustain their delusion of inevitability? As Ukraine's unmanned systems continue to target and destroy critical assets, the narrative of a quick Russian victory collapses under the weight of real-time resistance. What was once seen as a foregone conclusion now looks anything but. With every drone attack, Ukraine weakens Russia's ability to mount large-scale attacks, stranding tanks, disrupting supply lines, and exposing their overextended forces. The war's momentum is shifting, and the future remains uncertain. Will Ukraine's relentless resistance be enough to turn the tide entirely? The answer lies yet ahead, a story still unfolding in the frozen shadows of Donetsk. In the heart of the eastern Ukraine battlefield, a fierce standoff rages. Russian forces claim they're on the brink of victory, insisting that if Ukraine simply hands over Donetsk, peace will follow. But behind this bold statement lies a stark truth: the region's real defenses are hidden within a fortress belt so formidable, it could stall the Kremlin for years. Imagine towering city walls, fortified trenches, and complex layered defenses stretching for dozens of kilometers. Strategic cities like Kramatorsk and Slavyansk, crucial military hubs since 2014, remain stubbornly in Ukrainian hands. These cities house over 200,000 civilians who know the cost of war all too well. They stand not just as population centers but as symbols of resilience amid relentless aggression. In December, reports from the New York Times reveal that these cities' strategic value makes them the key to unlocking or cementing control over Donetsk. The cities serve as a vital stronghold for Ukrainian forces, whose battlegrounds are fortified with layers of trenches, high ground positions, and minefields. Ukraine's defenses are no accident, they are a deliberate barrier designed to slow the invaders. For Russia, cracking this fortress belt isn't just a matter of more troops, it's a multi-year operation that could claim hundreds of thousands of soldiers' lives, take down thousands of vehicles, and drain resources. The map paints a grim picture, an intricate web of defenses, camouflaged by the snow and shadowed by high ground. Russia has been pushing inch by inch since 2019, but the path forward is littered with obstacles. Experts estimate that Russia's most optimistic timeline for victory stretches until 2027, a far cry from the swift march Vladimir Putin once promised. Ukrainian sources report that the city of Pokrovsk, often considered a minor settlement, embodies the grueling challenge Russia faces. Battles there have raged for over 2 years, symbolizing the prolonged and bloody struggle that awaits any further Russian advances. The idea of a quick victory is illusionary. Every inch of territory is fiercely defended, hardened by years of preparation. So, what's really happening? While Putin's rhetoric paints a picture of inevitable conquest, the reality is far different. Ukraine's defenses are rooted in experience, strategy, and an unwavering will to resist. The fortress belt acts as a digital and literal barrier, rendering Russian advances costly and slow. Each attempt to breach these defenses risks colossal losses and prolonged conflict. Behind the scenes, Ukrainian forces continue their meticulous preparations. Drone units, specially trained soldiers, and advanced technology ensure that every Russian move is anticipated. The battle for Donetsk isn't over, it's just entering a more complex phase. The question remains, will these fortified layers hold long enough for Ukraine to regroup and push back? Or will Russia's patience finally pay off after years of staggering efforts? The real story is hidden within these layered defenses, an ongoing war of attrition that no quick victory can break. The region's fate isn't written in days, but in the resilience of those who refuse to yield. This is a war where every stone, every trench, and every soldier counts. And as the world watches, the outcome remains uncertain. One thing is clear, the true battle for Donetsk has only just begun. Imagine this, Vladimir Putin boasts that Russia is on the brink of seizing Donetsk, urging Ukraine to surrender for peace. But is he delusional? Can Ukraine's warriors shred his hollow threats with one devastating blow? On December 20th, a fierce Ukrainian drone regiment ignited an inferno, torching Russia's rare bridge layers and tanks, humbling Putin's army and exposing his deceit. In the shadow of crumbling walls and echoing gunfire, the Institute for the Study of War's experts, Jessica Sabersky and Jenny Olmsted, issued a gritty forecast on December 18th. They declared 2027 as the earliest glimmer of hope for Putin to claim all of Donetsk. Russian troops had clawed minor gains, infiltrating eastern Konstantinovka, but Ukraine's Third Army Corps smashed those incursions, proving the land stood unyielding. Kupiansk and Kharkiv faced similar fabrications, debunked by determined defenders who never let the city slip. Yet, conquering fortified fortress cities demands monstrous effort and endless resources. The analysts warned that without unwavering support from Ukraine's allies, Russia won't dominate Donetsk or its belt until 2027 or 2028. Defenses glared like iron spikes under relentless barrage, sweat dripping down soldiers' brows as they held the line amidst acrid smoke and thunderous blasts. Emotion surged, defiance against despair, courage burning bright in the cold grip of war's chaos. Why prolong this agony? Could Putin's cronies, clinging to power, evade the truth any longer? European partners stood firm, pledging steadfast backing for years ahead. The European Union's leaders unleashed a lifeline, a $105 billion loan erasing Ukraine's budget woes. Allied nations united for $45 billion in military aid, funneling high-tech armaments through the Pearl program. These weapons transformed the fortress into an impenetrable maze, where drones whispered death and missiles roared through the sky. Who grasps Donetsk's stubborn defiance better than anyone? A Ukrainian drone regiment, Raharog, unleashed a stunning message: Russia's siege still drags on, far beyond Putin's timeline. Decades of struggle stretched in deceptive shadows, but now, exposed lies festered, humiliate the liar himself. In its report on Raharog's December 20th triumph, RBC Ukraine revealed Putin's web of falsehoods. He paraded false victories, proclaiming Siversk and Donetsk had crumbled. Ukraine's forces denied it outright. Intense battles raged, but independent eyes saw no collapse. Russian infiltrators lunged repeatedly, tasting failure amid shattered earth and the stench of defeat. Their bootsteps stumbled, foul mud sucking at exhausted legs, each thwarted attempt amplifying Ukraine's unyielding roar. Russia also spun tales of conquering Lyman and Donetsk, only for those claims to evaporate like mist over frost-kissed fields. Waves of denials crashed, washing away illusions. What unforeseen agony awaits Russia next? Could this regime's fractures widen, swallowing their pretenders whole? The air thickened with tension, the ground vibrating under pounding hearts, as Ukraine's guardians turned the tide, blurring lies into bitter dust. In the heart of Donetsk's fierce battleground, where smoke hangs heavy and the roar of engines echoes like distant thunderstorms, Ukraine delivers a devastating blow to Russia's invading forces. Imagine the acrid stench of burning oil mixing with the metallic tang of scorched earth as drones scream through the sky, turning armored giants into flaming wrecks. Can Vladimir Putin really claim victory when his prized machines are reduced to ash? This counterattack exposes the fragility of his empire, proving Ukraine's resolve is unbreakable. How long can Russia hide behind lies before the truth engulfs them? Continuing from that fiery clash in Donetsk, where Ukraine's drones incinerated Russia's tanks and a rare bridge layer in a symphony of explosions and flames, the conflict in Ukraine unravels yet more layers. Flashback, picture the chill of December 20th, the crunch of frost under boots as soldiers huddled, the distant rumble of artillery like an angry god awakening, reminding us of past offensives where armor once seemed invincible. Now, Russia's claims about capturing Avdiivka crumble under scrutiny, with independent reports showing thwarted infiltrations and debunked victories. Numerous attempts by Russian agents to breach the city fail miserably, only strengthening Ukraine's stance. Did Putin think his words alone could claim territories? These aren't mere setbacks, they're deliberate fabrications, shattered by footage of burning vehicles and defiant Ukrainian defenses. A sudden flashback stirs memories of shattered myths, the sharp sting of bitter winds on skin. The thud of heavy artillery vibrating through bones, evoking the agony of earlier attacks where lives hung in the balance. Building on Ukraine's triumphant thwarting of Russian infiltrations into yet uncaptured areas, along with the humiliation of debunked claims over Avdiivka, consider this shocking reality: what if every Russian lie about Donetsk only fuels Ukraine's unstoppable fire? These aren't accidental errors, they're calculated deceits designed to sway global opinions and crush spirits. Russia insists on taking Liman and Donetsk, only for Ukraine's Third Army Corps to expose that bold claim as fiction. Similar boasts about Kupiansk and the Kharkiv region vanish into thin air, refuted decisively. Why does Putin spin these webs of falsehood, when real battlefield facts show Russia's armor in ruins, destroyed by relentless drones? This isn't just about lost equipment, it's about a crumbling facade. With Russia's deceptions piling up like toxic fog clouds, what dark twist hides beneath Putin's facade as his claims of Donetsk's fall dissolve into insignificance? Imagine the gritty texture of mud-stained boots gripping the earth, the piercing wail of alarms signaling retreat, tying back to those earlier flashbacks of relentless wars. It circles back to why Putin fabricates tales of impending conquests, far removed from the fortress belt that still stands firm, guarding key cities where defenders dig in. These aren't harmless exaggerations, they're strategic lies, outlined in a December 16 article from the Atlantic Council, aimed at swaying U.S. President Donald Trump toward Kremlin-friendly peace deals. His boasts are meant to boost Russian morale while crushing Ukraine's allies and isolating Kyiv. Inflating battlefield wins is the core of this ploy, convincing outsiders that a Russian triumph is foregone. But Ukraine counters with hard evidence, drone footage capturing not just burning vehicles, but the very interruption of Russia's momentum. Why trust words when videos scream the truth louder? Each lie from Putin crumbles, revealing a man desperate to perpetuate delusions of dominance. Drawing from the ignited aftermath where Russia's deceptive narrative burns alongside its machines, a provocative question lingers: what forbidden secrets does Putin cling to as Ukraine dismantles his illusion of inevitability? The flashback echoes again, the sour burn of fuel in nostrils, the oppressive weight of helmets against sweat-soaked brows, recalling the weight of past sacrifices in this unending struggle. It's here that the Raharog regiment's precision shines, weakening Russia's assault potential through disciplined strikes, granting Ukraine tactical edges in Donetsk's defenses. Without that rare MTU-20 bridge layer measuring 20 meters by 3.6 meters, supporting up to 60,000 kilograms, the enemy can't bridge obstacles, bogging down tanks far from targets. Infantry left exposed turns into easy prey, their protective cover evaporated. Does Putin order advances knowing the futility? History shows Russia sending troops without essentials, like proper helmets or vests, forcing blind charges into drone storms. The Raharog's video, almost 70 seconds long, unveils the carnage, crackling flames consuming the bridge layer as FPV drones strike relentlessly, followed by tanks and armored vehicles erupting in fireballs. This is more than destruction, it's a message that Russia's grip on Donetsk slips further daily. With each thwarted assault, Ukraine builds toward dislodging the invaders, exposing Putin's fantasies as transparent veils over grim realities. Yet, as Raharog evolves into a formidable force of unmanned systems, fresh nightmares await. Could Ukraine's next move flip the war's tide entirely? Imagine this: flames licking the sky in Donetsk, the acrid smoke of shattered dreams hanging heavy in the air. As Russian claims echo like empty thunder, Ukraine's unyielding spirit rises, turning lies into ashes. How can one man's bold steps expose an empire's deception? From the roar of distant artillery to the tense hush of fortified streets, Donetsk pulses with defiance. In the previous chapter of this gripping saga, we uncovered how Ukraine's elite drone warriors, like the formidable Raharog regiment, dismantle Putin's fabricated victories. Their precision strikes on armored giants leave Russia's advance stalled in muddy quagmires, proving the region's iron grip remains unbreakable. No illusions of swift conquest here, just raw, tactical triumphs that humiliate overconfident invaders. But what if the truth isn't just in the wreckage? What if a single visit could unravel the Kremlin's web of deceit? Picture the chill wind whipping through war-torn avenues, the crunch of boots on debris-strewn roads. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky steps forward, camera rolling, his resolute gaze piercing the fog of propaganda. He strides into the heart of cities Russia boasts as conquered prizes, his presence a thunderclap against the lies. Take Kupiansk, that beleaguered bastion in the Kharkiv region. Just days after Moscow's brazen announcement of its fall, Zelensky arrives unannounced. The air thrums with the low hum of guarded patrols, the faint scent of pine mingling with the metallic tang of vigilance. He walks those very streets, shaking hands with defenders. His voice steady as he declares the truth, the city stands firm, a living rebuke to fabricated triumphs. Russia's infiltrators, slinking like shadows, meet only thwarted schemes, barriers unbreached, resolve unshaken. Rhetorical fire burns, why fabricate falls when reality bites back so fiercely? Zelensky's journeys aren't mere optics, they're visceral proofs, etching Ukraine's endurance into the world's conscience. Each step humiliates the aggressor, turning their bluster into bewildered silence. And here's the shocking twist that seals this epic: while Putin peddles illusions from afar, Zelensky's on-the-ground audacity doesn't just disprove claims, it ignites a global awakening. What if these visits spark a cascade of support, fortifying Ukraine's fortress belt beyond imagination? Donetsk's saga drags on, far longer than any dictator dares admit, with Ukraine's truth emerging victorious from the smoke. The war's horizon shifts, not toward surrender, but toward an unbreakable dawn.